What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a sit down video. I don't know why I'm starting it like a vlog, but as you can tell by the title, today we're going to be talking about how to get signed by an agency. This is probably one of the most asked questions that I get in my DMs on Instagram, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and we're going to get into it. So, first thing you're gonna do when it comes to finding an agency, looking for an agency to sign with, is you're gonna do your research. There's a lot of great agencies out there, but there's also a lot of not so great agencies out there. You wanna make sure that when you submit yourself to an agency, that it's a reputable agency, that they're actually going to handle things properly, and that you're not getting involved in some type of money scam. That's the last thing you want to be getting yourself involved in. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it's just not safe. So what should you look for when you're finding a reputable agency? You first of all want to make sure they have a website. An agency that solely operates of social media is a lot of the times not legit. So you want to make sure they have a website, you want to make sure they have an actual location, a phone number, email address, and that you're not just communicating with one person off social media. That's a red flag. It's dangerous. Don't do it. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure this agency has some sort of roster. And a roster means that they have models on their website. This is super important. You want to make sure that they actually represent people, that they have working girls or guys, depending on what agency it is. Doing the research is especially important when you're in a smaller city, and the reason why this is because unfortunately there's a lot of agencies in smaller cities who operate like a photo mill. And what a photo mill is basically that you pay a big fee up front to these agencies. A lot of the times this will be in form of like a model course or photo shoots that you have to buy packages for, expensive comp cards and like pictures and prints and all the stuff you have to pay for up front, and then they never find you any work. So when it comes to a city like New York, a lot of people know the big agencies in New York, and it can be easy to determine whether an agency is reputable or not, but in smaller cities this can be a little bit more difficult. So yeah, do your research, make a list. You want to make sure that you have a couple of agencies that you're going to see. A mistake that aspiring models make is they only go and see one agency, and that's very limiting, right? You want to see as many options as possible. You want to get as many opinions as possible. You have to remember that agencies not only operate on the kind of modeling that they do, but specific agents also have girls that they're more passionate about or girls that they will push more. So it's always important to keep your options open, get several different opinions, and just go and meet these agencies in person. Once you've found your list of agencies, you're going to go on their website and you're going to see what their options are in terms of meeting new aspiring models. The first thing that I always tell people when they want to start modeling or they want to meet an agency is to see if the agency has an open call. An open call is like a once a week window of 2 or 3 hours where anybody can come into the agency and talk to an agent or talk to a booker. The reason why I always suggest an open call first is because it's the easiest and you can actually meet someone in person. So you're guaranteed to talk to someone, you're guaranteed to get an opinion or at least like an opportunity. Whereas if you only submit yourself online, there's a chance that they won't reach out, there's a chance you'll never hear anything back. A lot of the times there will be a section on the website where they will say like open call Tuesdays or Wednesdays from like 1 to 3 or 3 to 5 or something like this. Some agencies don't do open calls, and I've actually noticed this with a lot of agencies in New York that they stopped doing open calls. My agency, Wilhelmina, actually stopped doing open calls I think like 2 years ago or something like that, because the lines for the open calls would be around the block. If an agency doesn't have an open call, you can do one of two things. You can either call or email them, ask for an interview or a meeting. This is something that I would suggest doing if you already have modeling experience and you can send in a book and you can send like work material, or you can fill out their online model application. This model application will be pretty straightforward. Most agencies have this on their website, and basically what you'll need to do is you'll need to just fill out the application. It'll ask you for your name, your age, your stats, which would be like your height, your measurements. If you don't know how to take your measurements, I will leave a little measurement guide in the description box so you can check it out. Most agencies ask for your height, your bust, this is for girls by the way, your bust, your waist, and your hips. And then for men, they'll usually ask for your height, your chest and your inseam, I believe, and your suit size. With the application, you're also gonna have to submit some photos. And one of the questions that I always get is like, do I need to have professional photos? Do I need to do a bunch of photo shoots before I apply to an agency? And the answer is no. I do not think that's necessary. An agency is not looking for a full-on portfolio from someone who's never modeled a day in their life. A lot of those photo shoots will be really expensive. Not sure if it's going to be worth the money, just because most of the time if an agency signs you, they are going to book test shoots for you, and you're going to have to pay those at the end, like once you start making money anyway. So when you're submitting to an agency just wants to see what you look like naturally. They don't want to see you with all this makeup on. They don't want to see all these poses. They just want to see you. So these kind of pictures are called digitals or Polaroids, because years ago they used to use a Polaroid camera for these photos. So for these digitals, you're going to be wearing a very simple outfit. I always recommend just wearing black jeans and a black tank top or a white tank top. You can also wear a t-shirt if you like a t-shirt more, but make sure that it's form-fitting. I prefer a tank top just so that the agency can see your shoulders and your neck, and it's just overall a more flattering, clean look. And a pair of heels. Heels are super important. And then for your hair and makeup, you're just gonna wanna look as natural as possible. Doesn't mean you can't wear makeup, but I would just keep it to like mascara and concealer and maybe a little bit of powder for shine. You're not gonna do anything crazy. You really want the agency to see you as your natural self. Same with your hair. Don't do anything crazy. Just make sure it doesn't look messy, like you just woke up. You know, you want to look presentable. But it also, at the same time, doesn't need to be too done. You just want it to look natural. So most agency websites have a limit as to how many photos you can send. A lot of the times it's 4, sometimes it's 6. So you want to be pretty careful with the kind of photos you send. You don't want to send 6 full body shots. You don't want to send like all face shots. You want to get as much variety as you can. So what I recommend is if you only have 4 files to send, 2 of them are going to be body shots and 2 of them are going to be headshots. The first one is going to be a straight on model face headshot. The second one is going to be some sort of profile shot, and you can either be looking away for this or you can be looking at the camera, but you want to get some sort of angle of your face. I think that this is really important. You can either do 2 full body shots like at the same distance, or you can take like 1 at the knee and then like 1 full body. Another thing that you can do is you can take a full body in clothes and a full body in a bikini. The key to these digitals is to just show as much of you as possible. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what pose to do. I'm not going to tell you exactly what photo to do. You just need to show your best angles and you need to show as much of you as possible. Last thing I will say about these photos is just make sure you're shooting them on a good background. A clean white background is always the best. Make sure you're using natural light. And if you guys don't really know what poses to do, if you don't know how to move your body, go and check out my posing video. I just filmed it a few weeks ago, so I'll leave that in the description box. And in that video, I also talk about lighting. I talk about how to smize, like how to use your face. So a lot of helpful tips in there. Okay, so now that we've covered all the ways to submit yourself to an agency, I kind of want to go over the actual interview, because I think that this is really important, especially if you are able to go to an open call, or if you call them and they say you can come in for an interview. You want to make sure you're prepared for this. You want to come in the same outfit that I was just discussing, the jeans and the tank top and the heels. You don't necessarily have to wear the heels there, but just make sure you have them with you. You also want to make sure you have a brush to like clean up your hair, anything you might want to touch up on your face. I always say just bring like a little bit of powder and some lip balm, eye drops. I always have eye drops with me, just because it like wakes you up a little bit. It makes your eyes look brighter. Yeah, you essentially just want to bring whatever you need to like touch yourself up, freshen yourself up. Make sure you have practice good hygiene. Another thing that I always recommend when it comes to going to an open call is bring a bikini. Because if an agency really likes you and they like you on the spot and they want to offer you a contract, they might want to take pictures right then and right there. So just bring like a basic bikini. It doesn't necessarily have to be black, but it does have to be like a solid color. So I have, hang on, yeah, don't come don't come to the open call with this bikini. So I just quickly want to show you guys my bikini. You don't have to get this one. The reason why I love this is because the straps are really thin, and something that I've learned after taking digitals for like 10 years of my life is that the thinner the strap, the more flattering it is. The only time that it's not flattering is if it digs into your body, so just make sure you have it like it's well fitting, it's not too tight. This one's from Arc Swimwear. I'll have it linked down below. But yeah, just have like a basic black bikini with you. You can also do this in like lingerie, but a lot of people, especially in the beginning, they just want to do it in a bikini because it seems a little bit more comfortable. And now for the most important part, the interview. When it comes to meeting an agency and talking to an agent, you don't have that much time. So you really want to make sure you nail this interview, because a lot of the times you only get one chance. And yeah, you just want to leave a good impression. First and foremost, just be yourself. If this is an agency that you end up signing with, you are going to want to develop a genuine relationship with them. That being said, you do want to bring out your best. And you know, you want to come in with charisma, you want to be positive, you want to be happy, you want to be excited to be there. You don't want this to feel like a chore. So it is important to like pep yourself up and be excited for this meeting. Agents are really busy. They have a lot going on all the time. It's a lot for them to take 15 minutes out of their day to talk to you and to talk to the 10 other people they might be meeting that day. So when you have that 10 to 15 minutes, you want to make the most of it, and you want to make it like a positive, fun experience, right? Remember that, be positive, be happy, be charismatic. My next tip for this interview is to have stuff to talk about. And you kind of want to be prepared for them to ask you questions about your life, things you're doing right now in the present moment, your goals. A lot of the conversation will be centered around why you want to be a model and what you want to achieve in your career. So when you're a little bit younger, you might not know everything about modeling, so it's okay if you don't exactly know which direction you want to go in, but you sort of want to have a goal and you want to have a plan and you want to be able to tell them about it. Before you go into the interview, whether it's the night before or the morning of, just like think about these things and prepare some sort of answers or something to talk about at least. My next tip for this interview would be to actually have you asking them questions. And this is something that is really helpful, not just for you, but also for them. And it kind of makes you stand out, because if you come in and you ask questions about them as an agency, this person as an agent, like asking about their experience, potentially even asking like where they could see you fitting in the agency or in the market, that not only gives you some sort of insight on how they feel about you as a model, but it also gives you some insight on that agent and their experience, the agency and their experience. As important as it is to have answers to their questions, it's also important to ask them questions, because at the end of the day, signing with an agency is a partnership. It's a big decision. A lot of these contracts are for 1, 2, 3 years at a time. So you really want to make sure you're signing with someone who not only has experience, but also sees a future with you. Obviously, each interview is going to be a little different. The pace is going to be different. The questions are going to be different. And it really also depends on like if the agent is interested or not. But if there is an opportunity for you to ask questions and get to know them better, I would take that. And yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions about what they see you doing, what kind of work they see you doing, what kind of clients they think you could do well for. And again, like I said, I think that that would make you stand out, because, you know, like these interviews are nerve-wracking. A lot of people get nervous. And if you are able to like fight through that and ask the good questions and get to know them and be interested, you'll definitely stand out to them. So the last thing that I want to address in this video is some of the responses you might get. Best case scenario, they offer you a contract right then and there. You don't have to sign it right then and there, and I do not recommend you sign it right then and there. The protocol for these kind of contracts is that you usually have like 3 to 5 business days to send it back to them. Just for both parties, I think that you should take the time to really read through it, get a second opinion, because as exciting as it is, you do want to make sure that you're getting into something that aligns with who you are, aligns with what you want. Another easy to tell response would be for them to just be like, listen, I'm sorry, but we don't see this relationship happening, or we just don't think you're a right fit for the agency. And obviously that is not something that you want to hear. Remember, at the end of the day, modeling is a business. Rejection is not personal. And as much as it sucks to hear and as disappointing as it is, it's better to have an honest response than to have an agent who pretends to be really excited and then doesn't want you at the end of the day. So yeah, there's those two responses, and then there's the third response, which is probably the most common, but this is basically when they tell you that they need to talk to the rest of the team and they'll get back to you. This response kind of sucks because you're sitting there waiting, and usually it's like a week where you're waiting and you're not sure what decision they're gonna make. But yeah, a lot of the times an agency will need to take some time to talk to the rest of the team, kind of see where the team is at, what they think, whether they see you as a good investment. The reason why this is because agents don't usually make decisions on their own when it comes to like taking on new girls. A lot of the times it's a unanimous decision made by the board. If you don't end up hearing back, it usually means they decided not to take you. Not all agencies reach out to tell you that they're not going to take you on. No response is a response at the end of the day. So yeah, don't get discouraged when they tell you they need time to talk to the team. A lot of the times it truly does mean they need to talk to the team. But I would say if you don't hear anything back in a month, I would just assume that they're not going to take you on. You could circle back and see what they say, but a lot of the times if they don't end up reaching out to you after the interview, it's because they just aren't gonna take you on. I know I said this was gonna be the last thing, but this will be the last thing. Something that I think is really important when you're interviewing with agencies, especially if you're interviewing with a lot of them, is to make a little note after the meeting. This literally takes like 5 minutes. Do it in the lobby of the agency, or do it in your car, or do it wherever, do it outside. But you want to make a little note of how the interview went, what you guys talked about, what the agent said, how you felt about it, what was the feeling that you got when you talked to the agent. Let's say you're meeting 8 different agencies. First of all, you're not going to be seeing all 8 of them on the same day. You're probably going to be seeing them over the span of a week. The reason why I say write a little note right after the meeting is so that after that week of meeting agencies, you can look over your notes and remember like, oh, this is how that meeting went, or oh, like this is what this agency said versus what this agency said, you know? It's very unlikely you're gonna have 8 agencies who wanna sign you at the end of the week. So there's already gonna be some agencies that fall off the list. But if you have 3 agencies who wanna give you a contract, that's still a win, and that's still a lot, and you want to remember the specifics of those meetings and how you felt, how the connection was with that agent, so that you can make a good decision at the end of the day. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative and helpful. If I missed anything, or if you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'm always happy to help you guys and respond to you guys. I'm gonna be filming a few more of these videos just to like freshen up my modeling playlist on this channel. If you guys have any video suggestions or like particular videos that you want to see, definitely let me know. Again, leave me a comment down below or just shoot me a DM. And yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!